beautiful woods behind she's gone now. Okay, Grace. Now it's the lake. Okay. Right. Okay. It's the true direction comes from within. And that which you love guides you. We just need to listen. Listen with the heart. Because it's one heart. Because we are one. That's the beauty. That's the love. That's the sweetness. We are never apart in any possible way. We are never apart. It's not possible to be apart. We're, it's one reality. A dog barking in the distance. It's not so distant, is it? You follow your heart, follow your inner guidance. The true guidance that you get is not from your personal mind. It comes from the source. We hear the distant voice that comes to us. Guides us towards itself, which is my very self. There's only one self. Already whole and complete. Whatever you're trying to reach or achieve is not real. Reality is not lacking anything, not seeking anything, not hoping or praying for anything. All of that is illusion. But you are not illusion. What you imagine yourself to be is your own creation, your own freedom. Like little children imagine an imaginary friend. You're not what you imagine yourself to be. What you are, you already are. Whatever that is it's not nothing, because that which is that which you are, that which I am, knows I am, knows it is, knows there is something rather than nothing. Perceives this perception, hears these words. is always in this moment, always now. The eternal now. Being, presence, borderless awareness. That's the I. That's the I. Infinite, impersonal, the love, the happiness, the freedom, the peace. Not an experience in time and space, or not an experience that's the consequence of something. Because in the eternity of now, there is no cause and effect. Everything is this nowness. You don't need to refer to yourself in any way. Look how effortlessly you hear these words without any personal reference. You don't need to impose any limitations onto reality, onto I, awareness. Fullness is empty-handed. And yet it doesn't cease creating, flowing without moving. How lovely it is to be this love, this oneness, this wholeness, rather than imagining myself as a struggling entity. I can relax into being, acknowledge being without knowing. You are not a body, you're not a male or female form. These are appearances that appear to you. You don't need to mistake yourself to be that appearance which you perceive. You don't need to think of yourself as existing in time and space, as a limited person, or as somebody with a past and future. Let the river flow, whichever way it's flowing. It's your creation moment by moment. There is no river that's flowing outside of yourself, moment by moment. There's no world, body, mind that exists outside of awareness. And awareness is not in time. Love is our true self, our true nature. And it is that which we love. There is no separation in love. There's no separate entity that loves another separate entity. We celebrate love this moment, and celebrate love upon the understanding about reality, our universal beingness. Love is God's truth, not something that you do or you achieve. There is no sense of lack in love. It's a celebration. So you know yourself by seeing through all the false notions about yourself. So you become notion free, belief free, and transparent, not knowing. Freshness of being. So you can step out from behind the veils. They are not necessary. Okay, so if there are any questions, anything that you would like to explore, please make sure to unmute your mic, and you're welcome to turn on your video. Glad to see you. So just have to take a little break. Okay. So, any questions?
Yes, Magdi, hi.
Yeah. Hello, Nathan.
Yes. What I wanted to speak about, maybe you can also help, is this passage from conceptual understanding to experiential, from like, I think Francis says, this movement from the map to the territory. Because I think a lot about non-duality during the day when I have minimal time, walk around, and I really love it. And it comes as thoughts, as perceptions, but I feel it's simply just conceptual.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes there's like a very spontaneous, effortless switch that I'm taken. That's the only way I can express it.
Yes.
That this reality takes me. And all these things become alive, so alive, that this presence, this borderlessness, this oneness, and it's like just so light and so full of light, and also free and full of love. And there's just kind of an openness. And when the clients come in, although the body may be tired and the mind a bit strained sometimes, because yet there's this happiness to be simply, and all this kind of expression, the friendliness, the openness, the clarity comes alive. It's kind of enlivened. So for me, it kind of created something fresh and something new that not necessarily a thinking process or a culmination of a certain thinking or result of any thinking, but this living this reality, this something so special. And also something that is so common. I saw this gentleman, he was holding this little dog, and I was about to examine the dog. And I saw myself as this person, is kind of a communion that we are the same, that there's sameness, not similarness, sameness, and kind of such a deep understanding and deep love kind of irradiating, enveloping the whole of it. And it was beautiful, and it was full of light and clarity.
Yes.
So there is this effortless almost switch, I don't know even how to say, from the concept of non-duality to a reality of non-duality in a way. But there's also a link at the same time. It's all linked together. It's not separated.
So concerning understanding, it's a yes or a no. There is no such thing as a conceptual understanding. Understanding refers to, aha, I get it. The I get it comes after the understanding. The statement I get it or I understand comes after the understanding. Just before the understanding, it's like, I'm not sure I get it. I sort of sense I'm getting it, but I'm not sure I get it. And then there is the understanding. So before the understanding, there is almost the understanding, but not yet not the understanding. And after the understanding, there is, I got it. There's been something, something happened, which we refer to as the understanding. So there is no such thing as a conceptual understanding. It's understanding or not yet understood. You see, conceptual understanding is wrong language, erroneous language. There is a process of thinking, contemplating, inquiring, investigating. The mind activities about reality, about truth, is an important activity of mind, of reasoning, of contemplation, of inquiry. So that would be, one could say that's the mind aspect of the practice, of the study, of the path, the mind aspect of the path, this mind aspect of the sadhana, the inquiry, the investigation, the questioning. But when there is understanding, it's a done deal. You got it that 2 + 2 = 4 and not 5. You got it. You cannot return from understanding to 2 + 2 = 5. You may forget that 2 + 2 = 4, but whenever you will encounter somebody saying 2 + 2 = 5, the understanding will come back to you. No, this 2 + 2 = 4. But before the understanding, if you come upon 2 + 2 = 5, you say, oh yeah, right. You still don't have the understanding. The understanding isn't there. So the understanding may not always be like up there saying, yeah, oh, remember 2 + 2 = 4, 2 + 2 = 4, 2 + 2 = 4. It's not like that. You don't need to remember the understanding. It remembers you. It remembers itself. So in terms of living the understanding, there is the understanding that I am the reality that perceives. And that this reality, it perceives right now, is not an object that you perceive, is not a reality which exists in a field of perception, is not something that exists in time, in space, in the world. It's that which perceives, that which is always perceiving. It perceives whatever it's perceiving, and it knows itself. I know I am. It knows, it perceives. It knows it is, and it knows it perceives. This is an understanding. This understanding is not conceptual. Once there is the understanding, that understanding is there. But you have to make sure that the understanding is clear. Not that, yeah, yes, I am the reality that perceives, but I know Magdi said that, and I saw it sometimes when I'm not, I'm also this person, and so you have to be really clear. There's the person is that something you perceive. There's also another understanding. The understanding is that that which I perceive, I also conceive and perceive simultaneously. It's not that there is something out there, then I go around the turn, and then now I perceive it. It's there. I'm not perceiving it, I'm not perceiving it, I'm not perceiving it, and then now I perceive it. No. Every moment you're perceiving. Every moment you're perceiving. Creating and perceiving. Why are you creating? Because you're perceiving. And because you're the reality that perceives. So you cannot perceive something that's not created. And that which is created cannot be created by something which is not real. It cannot be created by non-reality. It can only be created by the reality, which is the reality which perceives. That's how we define consciousness or reality, as that which perceives. Whatever it is, that which perceives. So therefore, whatever conceives is whatever perceives. You have to come to this understanding. Okay, yes, I get it. And, you have to go through your doubts. You have to sort of raise your doubts and examine your doubts, so that your doubts no longer have our doubts. There is a clarity. So therefore, that which I conceive, I perceive, is instantaneous. It's not like I conceive it and 4 seconds later I perceive it. So therefore, there's no time in our actual experience. That's what we're talking about. We're not writing a thesis or a philosophy paper about perception. Although we could, but that's not what we're doing. We're looking, we're investigating. So given that conception and perception occur simultaneously, therefore it's not in time. There's no time. That which perceives, conceives, and perceives is not in time. I am not in time. Consciousness, awareness, the reality that perceives is not in time. These are understandings. There is no conceptual aspect to the understanding. There is a pre-understanding conceptual realm. There is a post-understanding conceptual discourse. But when you're talking about understanding, you're talking about a different level, a different plateau. Now, in terms of living the understanding, we speak about living the understanding because there are habits of the body-mind. These habits of the body-mind still operate. And so life becomes our playground. Now, when in life we want to experience wholeness, we want to experience the love, we are in ignorance. Let me repeat that. When in life we want to experience the wholeness, or we want to experience the love, we are in ignorance. Because we have separated ourselves from God, we've separated ourselves from love. Because any desire that is true desire is God's desire. It doesn't belong to a person, doesn't belong to a personal mind. If God wishes you to feel oneness and wholeness with your client friend who came to see you, it's God's wish, God's doing. I am not here a beggar asking God to please give me some more. That's not the way. I simply am there as God's grace, as God's life, as God's being. If God wants me to experience some sense of worry or concern, it's God's doing as well. But we have available to us the understanding. The understanding is that, among other understandings, is that whenever we're experiencing some sort of dissonance, we are experiencing this dissonance as a separate self. At that moment of experiencing dissonance or experiencing some form of dissatisfaction, no matter how faint, it is because at that very moment we have adopted the model that I am the person, that I am somebody who should experience something else. That is an understanding that is available to us, and we can refer to this understanding. Aha, I see what's going on here. I see what's going on. I see the game that is being played here, the game of, oh goodness, how do I experience happiness all the time? How, I experience it sometimes, not experiencing all the time. What is this I in the story? The I in the story is not God. The I in this story, in this narrative, is not your true self. It is the old model, the old paradigm of I'm somebody that has been practicing for so many years and I've had this wonderful experience. I'm not experiencing all the time. And, 8 hours out of 10, or I need 2 more hours, whatever. I'm just sort of. So you have to understand that our true nature is everything. It's not a particular experience or a particular state. It includes everything. It includes a sense of lack. And it includes the understanding about the sense of lack. You have both available to you. You have the sense of lack available to you. Why not? It is God's play after all. And you also have the understanding about the sense of lack available to you. That at that moment, God is believing herself to be Nathan, to be a person, to be a doctor, to be a father, a friend, a mother, whatever, you know, a person. So you have the understanding available to you, use it. Use your understanding. Whatever you're seeking is false. Whatever you seek is false. Love is, and love is that which you are. And love loves love, is love. It's never interrupted. It's like the clouds do not interrupt the sunshine. It shines 24/7, whether you're perceiving the sunshine or you're not perceiving the sunshine. Similarly, you are that, but it's not an experience. It's not a certain feeling or a certain experience. You are that as the reality, which is beyond experience, beyond sensation, beyond feelings, beyond description. So whatever you conceive in time or in space it's a different thing. It's an experience, it's an object, it's a sensation, feeling. Something that arises in time and space is something that you perceive, not something that relates to what you are, right? So that which you perceive, whatever it is, thought, a feeling, is an arising for you that you perceive, that you conceive and you perceive, but it doesn't define you. It doesn't speak anything about you. Only the God's silence is the true expression about that which you are, about your reality.
It's beautiful. It's so clear. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Magdi. It really speaks to me.
Okay.
Sense of wholeness is also the sense of totality of everything.
No. It is about shedding the false, shedding the old, the beliefs, concepts, and notions. Our true nature is always there, shining. It's like when you're happy, you don't even know you're happy. You are happy effortlessly, naturally. It's not, maybe there are times where there are some peaks, like, you see a beautiful sunrise or a beautiful sunset, or, you're hugging a friend, or you're helping somebody, you feel this, but that's just a bonus. It's like the sun is shining everywhere, but sometimes it shines on the surface of the pond and you see these beautiful reflections of light onto the water. It's just a bonus. The sun is shining anyways. Everything that you see is the sunshine. Everything you see is the sun. Everything that you see is the rays of the sun. But yes, on the surface of the pond, it's like, it takes some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful picture, of the,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Nathan. Nice being with you. Yes. Any questions? Could I see some of you? A lot of you I don't see. I see George and hey, George and George. Okay, Richard, Mina and Grace. I like seeing you. And okay, wonderful. Yes, Marga. Hey, Marga. How is Eden, Marga? She's good? All is well with her?
Oh, thank you for asking.
Yes.
Yes, she's in Montana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Montana. I've always wanted to visit Montana. I heard there are beautiful mountains and beautiful forests in Montana.
Yes, I'm going in March to see her.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, Tara. Lovely, beautiful. Yeah, wonderful. I say hello to her because I had thoughts about her recently. It's wonderful. Yeah, it's lovely to see each other. I mean, Richard.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the cameras are distracting to other people, so I keep mine off. That's so.
Yeah. Well,
if you prefer, you can stay on. It's fine.
I actually do. I do like to. Yes, I do prefer to see it. But again, it's not. It's as you feel, of course. Yeah, I got you, Frank. I found you good. Any?
I just wanted to say I'm out walking, Magdi, so I'm going to spare you the the roaming background.
Yes, okay, Zoe, enjoy.
Thank you.
Magdi, I do want to say also what, as Frank said, that thank you and Nathan for the conversation. It's beautiful. I guess one thing I'll say I've noticed recently is like there's a real exhaustion, like maintaining the ego, like the ego. There's a real exhaustion, and I've realized, I think, just thinking about it and reflecting on it, there's exhaustion from the fear of just holding everything together, like just this fear, I have to hold this together, and I have to experience and live life on these terms and not on those terms, and have this experience, but I don't want that experience, and it gets very, very exhausting. I didn't know if you could speak to that, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I get it. Absolutely. I mean, and it's not necessary. I mean, life doesn't care too much for exhaustion. When it wants the volcano to erupt, it just easily does it. I mean, it doesn't. It's not like trying to. The river flows. It's not trying to get somewhere. It's the universe doesn't like exhaustion. Exhaustion is. So we're trying to protect a ghost. We're trying to safeguard, to defend, to a specter, an imaginary. We're living in the imagination. We impose that on others. We make images of the other, and then the other has to sort of get exhausted to try to please us, our messed up agenda. I mean, heck, what sort of enjoyment is it to be imposing on ourselves and on the other all these hurdles, all these. So like, it's not possible to enjoy and at the same time to be striving, you know, like if you love something, you can work really hard at it, but you're doing it because you love it, whatever it is. It could be you maybe just working late into the night, writing a poetry, and it's not just the right words aren't coming to you, but you don't care. You love. That's what you love to do. It's very different from living out of this sense of what Francis says, impending doom. You know, it's just that like something is at stake. Something is at stake. Nothing is at stake. It's our choice whether we choose that, okay, my body, my health, my family, my bank account. We make these choices. We make these things important. We make these things important. But only thing that's important is the love, the enjoyment, the beauty. When we are happy, goodness, everything is great, right? I mean, we're not striving. When you're happy, you're not striving. You know, when you're happy, there's no striving, you see. And near happiness and the other's unhappiness, that doesn't work. Your happiness is in relationship with the other. So you know, the listening, the kindness, the understanding, also to acknowledge, you know, your own shortcomings, to see that also shortcomings that belong to the body mind. All body minds have shortcomings. To be humble in life, to be not to be so full of yourself, but you know. No, I mean, you may have some knowledge, but we're always learning. We're always learning. And that's beautiful because that means we're open. You know, if we're open to the learning, we're open. And no, when you notice the striving, then it's a good time to recollect your understanding that only as a separate self you are striving, not as your reality, not as truth. So you are at that moment under the influence of being somebody, you know, that there's a problem or something like that, or something that you must achieve. It's very different from, for example, working really hard. You may have a project that you have to do at work or something like that. And, you know, there's a deadline. It's different, you know. Then, of course, you know, it may not be the happiest time, but heck, you know, you get it over with, you know, you work 14 hours, whatever time it takes to get that done. But you're careful also. You're careful not to live your life under that situation. Because sometimes we are in environments where it's pressure, lots of pressure. It's not, may not be internal, maybe just the work environment or the family situation where it could be a lot of pressure, a lot of too much. So then we do adjustment. It may take a while to get the adjustment, you know, to make the changes. You know, in some cases it may take years, who knows? But you don't just put yourself in a situation and stay in that situation. You notice, oh, well, a minute, that's too much, you know, that's too much. So how can I explore a situation that's less exhausting, you know, I don't know, lesser hour, maybe, I don't know, it's an exploration. It doesn't have to, you snap your finger, it's done. No, it can take trial and error, you know, a period of trying this, trying that, speaking to people. But the living with the identity, the identity, in a way, it's like you're imposing an identity onto awareness, because you are awareness. But living with the identity, it's like you have to try so hard to somehow make awareness fit into the straitjacket, but you can't get it done. It's like you don't know how to grab it. I mean, but you still, so you're there with the straitjacket, and there's nobody inside the straitjacket. But you're trying so hard to put somebody in that straitjacket, and it's like it's really it's a self-imposed, you know, things can be so much simpler. Go with the flow, where we explore, but above all, we don't adopt the model of, oh my God, what can save me? You know, what can save me? What?
You said we don't adopt the model of asking what can save me. Is that what you said?
Yes, or no, adopting the model of I need to be saved or something like that. You know, you know, I is this the reality that hears his words. I is isness. But that which needs to be saved is what you imagine yourself to be. You imagine yourself to be whatever, you know, and you imagine the other also to be. Sometimes we feel, oh, we got to save the others, you know. It's different from seeing somebody who's, you know, who has fallen. You help him to get off the pavement. It's different. But you imagine, oh, these people need help, you know. Nobody's not, when somebody knocks on your door, of course, you know, everything is God's doing, you see, and it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. And it's true that God has given you the capacity to imagine yourself to be this person, to be a person, but also God is giving you the capacity to understand that you're not. She plays both sides of the deck, you know. You know.
Yes, it's. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's been interesting recently that I've had this, like when I'll sit with my thoughts in meditation or just sitting, you know, maybe out for a walk, but I had this experience of like, you know, the ego, and like in somehow in contrast to like just the stream of other thoughts. Like I'm so very aware of the passage of thoughts and thoughts moving, and there's almost a sense in which there's a fear that there's such an overwhelming flow of thoughts that the ego is in danger. But it's also interesting because, like, when I really reflect on that, I am realizing that the ego and the wave of thoughts, like they're both distinct from the awareness that's aware of them. So it's been helpful as well as frightening to sort of be experiencing this.
And look at the metaphor, Richard, of the sky with the clouds, you know, passing. There could be sometimes a billion clouds, you know. The sky isn't affected by the clouds, you see. Now, the ego is a different thing. The ego is not just a cloud. Ego is not a thought. Ego is a belief. It's a belief. So it's a particular thought, but it's not just a thought. It's a thought that so you stretch the thought and you don't allow that thought to sort of have a beginning and an ending. So belief is like, it's more than a thought, because thoughts they have a beginning and an ending, whatever the thought is. Some seem to be longer than others. The belief is ongoing. It's like when you are looking over the world, there are all sorts of perceptions that's changing. These are the thoughts. But when you put on a purple set of glasses, then yes, the thoughts are still there, but they're all purple. So the belief is the purple glasses, as the metaphor. The thoughts are the flow, whatever, the flow. We should not be trying to fix our thoughts. There is no one who fixes the thoughts. We should not see a problem with the thoughts. There are no problems with thoughts. They're God's thoughts. They don't belong to you. You're perceiving them. You need to take a look at the purple glasses. That's the belief. Ego is the belief, okay, that I am a personal perceiver. That which perceives is a personal perceiver. And this perceiver is located, I don't know, in the head or behind the eyes, or local. I mean, local personal perceiver that somehow is connected to the body, and something's going to happen to this perceiver when the body dies. It's just going to hop from this body to another body, or it's going to go into a bardo state, then it's going to jump into another body or something. But so these are the purple glasses, and it's always in this moment that you can take a look. It's in this moment you take a look. What is it that perceives? Is it Richard that perceives? Or is Richard perceived? Because Richard is the name of the body, and you could say also image of the thoughts. You see. So this is how you address the belief. You address the belief by investigating whether the reality which perceives right now, which is undeniable, is a male or female reality, is a reality that is this reality exists inside something. You have to go to that which perceives. You have to go to that. You cannot go, if you go to thought is a delusion, a lot of different, everything is within thoughts, but not reality. So you have to go to your direct experience of the reality which perceives right now. That which perceives right now is not perceived, cannot be perceived, right? So therefore, there's nothing that you can say about it that is in the perceptual realm. You cannot say it's big, it's tall, it's gray, it's big, it's inside this, inside that, it's over here, it's over there. It's because it's not perceived. It's not possible. Yes, there would be falsehood. So, but yet it's undeniable. That reality is undeniable. You see, and so there's no possibility or evidence for you to say, okay, this reality which perceives has a name, or is inside my body. That would be a jump, but it has no proof. It's like, I believe there are Martians, blue men on the moon, and it's a jump, you see. So that's available to you. So when there is like this this overwhelming, this exhausting thing, you know, you cannot fix the exhaustion in the realm of the exhaustion, you know, by doing yoga or doing, you know, those rooms when you stay in those rooms, like in the water, they close the room, whatever.
The sensory deprivation.
Sensory deprivation.
Right. Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all those things they have a use or a purpose for the body or the mind, but
Yes,
it's not at
yes.
all the
Yes.
exhaustion or the awareness we're talking about. Yes,
Yes.
I've really been understanding that.
Yes.
Just experiencing that
Right.
recently. Yeah.
Yes. 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 So the exhaustion is a good it invites you to take a look. You see, it invites you to take a look, because you don't like exhaustion. Nobody does.
Yes. Thank you. That's really that's the direction I've been, or the conclusion I've been coming to. So thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Okay, sure. Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all and to see you. Thank you for whoever turned on their cameras. You don't have to, but I just enjoy it. So Nathan and all there, George, yes, George, Grace, Mina.
Thank you, Magdi.
Mina, and Doug, and Marga. Alan, nice to see you, Alan. Zoe, enjoy your walk. And Shiva.
Thank you, Magdi.
Yes, Zoe.
Thank you, Magdi.
Yes, and Frank and Raul. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Magdi. Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you.